Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Pages to Pixels podcast, where we talk about new movies every week. I'm Keertana, that's Rohan, and today we are talking about Anurag Basu's Metro in Dino. What did you think?
Um, so I do want to give the context that I have not actually seen, um, which Life in a Metro.
Life in a Metro,
Um,
right. Me neither. Yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty old.
it is. Yeah, although it's one of those movies that I feel like I know a lot about, despite having not seen the movie
Yeah,
itself. Um, and this is kind of, I know this is not a sequel, but it's like a spiritual sequel.
yeah,
Um, and again, not having any context of the original, I personally was not too impressed with this movie.
yeah.
Uh, I do think some of the things that worked was I actually liked the way that the movie was shot. Um, you know, like I thought the lighting was good. I thought even every now and then the camera movements were great. I don't think the music with the band worked for me, but I do think that the way that they edited those scenes in kind of worked because it was very seamless, where you kind of track a character.
Mhm.
Looks like my camera's acting up. But you'd kind of track a character walking, and then the camera would just kind of pan, and it would be on the musicians, and then it would kind of pan away, and as it would pan away, um, it would edit into the new scene with the new characters. So that stuff was well done.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's the same thing, weirdly. Like, I haven't had the chance to watch Life in a Metro either, but I have heard so much about it. It's very talked about. Um, this one, I know it got very mixed reviews. Um, Personally, I'm not a fan of this type of musicals. Like, I like the straightforward Bollywood musicals where they cut away and the song is a separate entity on its own. I prefer that. That's what I'm used to. So films like this, like La La Land, Jaga Jasoos, where story itself is told in the form of song, it takes a little more focus from me than I'm used to giving a film. Um, so
Right.
it got a little fatiguing for me. I think that was my big like gripe with it. Also, like after a point, I was like, if I have to see Preetham sing again, like what am I doing here? Um,
Right.
it's the introductions, I will tell you, were extremely creative. Like I liked how the characters were introduced. I just didn't realize it was going to that the musical like part of it was going to continue throughout because I went into this blind. Like I chose not to watch the trailer or anything like that.
Hmm.
um, I will say that so the character dynamics were very interesting. Obviously, it's different couples who are trying to figure out what they want out of their relationships or whether to stay in them or not. Um, so I like the idea that they had, these women from different age groups, or I guess these couples from different age groups trying to figure it out. But I think after a point, the stories felt repetitive.
They did.
Um, right? Like, because if you look at the Ali Fazal story, it's kind of the same as the Neeta Gupta story. Neena Gupta. Neeta?
Yeah.
What's the name? Neena Gupta? Yeah, Neena Gupta
Yes.
story. Because it's basically the wife compromising for a mediocre husband, essentially, right? Um,
Right.
like at an emotional level, they started feeling similar. And then also like maybe I'm just like really old school and like traditional here, but like I can't find myself being on board with somebody who cheats. Like
Yeah.
that's like a fine, like that's like a hard line for me. So the minute it that happens, like I've already like disconnected.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's just that's just how it is. So for me, like that just completely took me out of the story. Like I didn't care for Konkana Sen's character or um,
Tripathi.
Pankaj Tripathi's character. Like after I heard the crux of their story.
Yeah, I think my main issue with that story is I didn't really like the resolution of it. I
Hmm.
mean, obviously, like, yeah, like he should not be cheating and all that, but maybe if the movie gave you some kind of proper resolution where, hey, they go to couples therapy, and especially him, he puts in a lot more of the work. But instead, the movie kind of just goes, okay, well, he cheated, and then she cheated also, and it's all good now.
I mean, I get the whole thing of, oh, humans are messy and they're flawed and, we fuck up. And I get that. But
Hmm.
I don't know. but I will say that I really, really liked his performance, like
Yes.
so
Oh,
much.
he's always great. Yeah.
Yeah, and but because like there's this one specific scene when he's driving away in the car after she like kicks him out of the hotel room and takes the picture, and like you see this kind of pain in his face, and I found myself like sympathizing with him in that moment, and I was like, Kirna, what are you doing? Like it's like he got what he deserved, but it was like I think that's just testament to his like ability as an actor.
Yeah, I mean, he is, even when he's in something bad, he's one of those actors where you know that he is going to deliver a great
Hmm.
performance. And usually when he's surrounded by a great movie, um then you end up with just like something kind of, for lack of a better word, magical. Even though
Yeah.
that's a bit of a cringy word and overused, but you know, it just works. And
What you-
um
yeah.
he was so good he almost made it work in
Mhm.
this, even though kind of beat by beat I was not a fan of the storyline. And I also don't think that there was anything that interesting that happened in the storyline. I felt like, it felt like very cliche. Um, Same with most of the other storylines. And again, it's just constantly like everyone's just cheating. And um, there's times where I feel like the movie feels like it's justifying it, and I think that's where I had an issue, because the movie was almost like, well, um if your partner was uh like the movie feels like it's saying that, hey, if you don't feel a true, like, meaningful connection with your partner, then it is okay to look elsewhere.
Yeah, and that was just because there's this one line that like Pankaj Tripathi's character says, where he's like, I went all around the world and I just came back to you, so you shouldn't be this upset. And I was like,
Yeah.
uh, but that's not the same.
There's
I also,
that, and then the sorry,
no, no, no,
um
go ahead.
the Sara Ali Khan character also, like, her storyline was very much because she she's dating someone, I can't remember the name of the actor, but then she meets Aditya Roy Kapoor, and starts kind of hitting it off with him.
Hmm.
Uh, and then the movie kind of, it starts showing you that, hey, that perfect relationship she's in isn't so perfect, and the more and more it does that, the more and more she starts seeing uh the, I can't remember his character name, but
Aditya.
Aditya Roy Kapoor's character, and then she starts falling for him. It's very clear, and I mean, you could argue that maybe she doesn't directly um
Hmm.
do
But she
anything with him.
emotionally, sure.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, the healthy way, and it's like, okay, if she's realizing, hey, her partner isn't great, um,
Hmm.
then the healthy thing to do is to have that conversation and things, and then go ahead and pursue someone else. I feel like the movie is it's not interested in in that at all. It's just like, yeah, it's good because her partner kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's I think with her storyline especially, they went out of their way to say, oh, her partner sucks, therefore this is kind of okay.
Yeah,
Which brings me to my larger, I guess, issue with the film, which is that none of the character motivations really like made sense. Because we see like these people cheat on each other than the old people college romance, like there's no reason for these people to be cheating. Like
yeah,
it's like, well, sure, I guess I understand with Ali Fazl's relationship where he's just like an asshole, but
yeah,
like even then it's like why not just leave him. It's exactly what you said, right? Like it's that it isn't like, okay, with Sara Ali Khan's character, like what was keeping her in that relationship? Same thing
right.
with Ali Fazl's relationship, like what was keeping her in that relationship? But when you look
Hmm.
at Konkana Sen's relationship, why were they cheating on each other? Like what triggered Pankaj Tripathi to open his phone and get on Tinder? Like what is
Yeah,
like I feel like I was missing that one little beat in almost every storyline except Nina Gupta's, where I was kind of just wondering like why, like if they had just given me a little bit of explanation, maybe there was an explosive argument, maybe there was something or the other, and that
Hmm.
triggers them to go down this journey. Perhaps I would have connected better on some level, but I just felt like I just felt very disconnected, I think, throughout, which was my big issue. Also, Sara Ali
Yeah.
Khan's wig was really distracting.
Her what was distracting?
Her wig.
Her wig. Oh.
Yeah, it was like I saw it get lifted in a couple of places, and it's like I feel like it would have been worse in the movie theater because you're just watching this big blown up image, and like
Yeah.
just yeah. So I don't know. There were like a lot of elements that took me out of the story for sure.
Yeah, and then there I agree. I think the motivations were missing. And what they had there was not strong enough.
Mhm.
Um, because they had, I mean, for Pankaj Tripathi, why is he cheating? And it's just like, okay, because his wife kind of, I guess,
Group,
he
right?
describes
Yeah.
as nagging, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, um, I guess. Uh, but again, it just wasn't strong enough. Um, and
I
then
just sorry, go ahead. No, no, finish
no,
your
it
thought.
just
Sorry.
wasn't strong enough. And then kind of made worse by the fact that at the end, the resolution is they get back together because, um, well, well, without really putting any, they don't justify they don't justify why he cheated, and they don't justify why she would get back with
Mhm.
him.
Yeah, it's I agree. I see what you're saying. It's the other end of the motivations not making sense, right? Like the goals
Yeah,
also don't make sense.
yeah.
Um, it's it's interesting because when they were like flirting, like on like Tinder or whatever, I actually felt less chemistry in those scenes than when they were actually together on screen. Like I thought their conversations
Yeah.
together, husband and wife, like they felt more like charged.
Hmm.
There was like weirdly more romance in them. I saw more of a relationship there, but then like the well-crafted texts were just not like working for me. Like they were not smart. I didn't.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. Um, Coming to the Ali Fazal storyline, like he's the least layered character I've seen in a while.
Uh-huh.
His whole bio is struggling artist, and that's it. Which I was just, I don't know. It's like I guess I kind of see not wanting to be a techie and like moving, but like forcing your wife to get rid of a child is a little.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to come back from, and
Hmm.
like the movie consistently tries to bring him back from it, from their montages of him like suffering, I guess. But I don't think like him getting rejected for his music justifies what he did.
I agree. Um,
Yeah.
and I didn't really feel any investment in him or happiness. And when he finally gets the break,
Mhm.
it's just like, okay, cool.
And then there was also that weird child angle to that break where I was like, actually, the apology and the whole
Yeah.
like the way that at an emotional level, right? Like, so they're saying that the crux, the beating heart of their story is their relationship, like him and his wife. So
Right.
the resolution for that story has to technically be between him and his wife, but they make it about him and the child, which is, I'm just like, where is this coming from?
Uh-huh.
Kind of lost me there. I will say that I agree with you in terms of the cinematography. It was shot beautifully.
Yeah.
Like some of the shots were just absolutely terrific. Like I think especially in the beginning when Sara Ali Khan and Aditya Roy Kapoor's characters meet, I thought that
Hmm.
entire sequence was very interestingly made. Um, it's it was definitely there was like cinematic flair to it.
Right. I think it was overly concocted, I guess, is the where it
For
just
sure.
felt like so forced that she
Hmm.
ends up in his apartment thinking it's her
Yeah.
own. Yeah.
Yeah, it was also the I get it. I get the plot reasons for them to have to meet, but wouldn't it have just been like 10 times more organic if they just met at a bar?
Yeah.
Considering, yeah.
Hmm.
It was interesting. I also like um, Sara Ali Khan's sister's character, the child, the kid who was
Yeah.
trying to figure out her sexuality. What did you think of that?
Um. I I thought that was kind of when it started out. I thought it was a little bit interesting. Although I do think that actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that back because I think that there is and I don't feel like that's how the world works. Where especially currently, I like being straight is still considered the norm.
Hmm.
So it's not really so kids don't really grow up thinking that it's one or the other. Um, they kind of at least not in the society we currently live in. Maybe I don't know. Like I feel like 50 years down the line, it would be a situation. It might be a situation where a kid is growing up and being straight or being gay is like considered both like completely equally normal, and it is like hey, typically like you grow up and you will and then you'll realize it. So I just find it weird that someone it is I think the central question was like, hey, am I straight or am I gay? I don't think that made sense. Like it
Yeah.
could be, hey, am I maybe gay? Because like
Hmm.
if they could explore like does she have an attraction to
Hmm.
women?
Hmm.
Versus, hey, what am I? I don't
Yeah.
think that's really just how it works. And then I think that is how they could have explored it. I think the advice she gets from Sada Ali Khan is kind of weak.
Yep.
Um, just like, hey,
Yeah.
kiss someone you don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, I just thought even in terms of like even like as a screenplay thing there, like her story was not paced very well, I thought.
No.
Um, it just kind of came in and went out, and then suddenly she got a bunch of screen time, and I was feeling a little like basically what happened was somewhere in the middle I forgot she existed,
Yeah.
and then eventually they brought her storyline back, and I was like, oh wait, there's this other character I need to care about.
Yeah. And
She also
then,
kisses. Sorry, go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna say she also kisses her friend when she's like asleep or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, that made me really uncomfortable. I was like, what? What?
Yeah, it
Like,
was odd. She also
yeah.
didn't really, I feel like the primarily they just explored her with a guy.
Hmm.
Um, so you have this storyline where you have a girl who doesn't know if she's straight or gay or lesbian. Um, but the primary exploration is just going to be her with um
Yeah.
in like a straight um not really a relationship, but it
Setup. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, well, what is even the point? If you're not really going to explore the fact that she might be lesbian, you're just going to take the easy way and the most boring way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like I said, like I think at a content level I did kind of get what they were going for, but also like cinematically it kind of like I didn't like her goal was to figure out if she was straight or gay, and does she at the end? I don't even remember. Like that's how weak her resolution was. She just talks to him about it, right? And she's like, "Oh, I don't know yet." That's how that gets
Yeah,
resolved. Yeah.
yeah. So
So
it's never really resolved.
that's my thing. Like I feel like with any character, we get to know them, and then I think it's important for us to build some sort of relatability before the stakes make sense to us. And I feel like I didn't have that with any of the characters in this film. The music was interesting. I will say that one of my big issues was that when dialogue was happening, like loud music was playing, and it almost felt like the whole movie was a montage. Like that's how
Yeah,
much like weight was placed on the music. And here's the thing, like I don't take dialogues during montages seriously. Like I just like watch them because I'm like, oh yeah, it's telling me the story, that the music is doing the work. So I
yeah,
feel like there were loaded moments where I was not even paying attention to the dialogue because the music was so overpowering. Like, and I mean that like in the story sense and in terms of just like the mastering of the tracks, you know?
yeah. I agree. Typically, you want a montage that is like as dialogue free as possible, or the dialogue is not
Mm-hmm.
important.
Mhm.
Um, because I think we're just like trying to follow stuff with our eyes. When we're getting those quick montage stop cuts, as
Yeah.
opposed to also paying attention to the dialogue. I think the one movie I can think of that pulls it off well is V for Vendetta. But that's
Mhm.
usually that's more voiceover that
Yeah.
is further supporting the images that we're seeing.
I think as an audience, I'm like a lot less. I think I'm just like, how do I put this? I'm less intelligence of an audience than I am a person. Like in real life, like I'm getting there, I
Okay.
promise. Like in real life, like I think I'm able to gather a lot more information simultaneously and process it,
Right.
uh, as opposed to when I'm an audience where I would like certain direction in what I'm watching. It's like if you tell me to do a lot of brain work, I'm a little like, oh, should I? Why? That's what I've noticed at least off late.
Okay.
So it's so I think that was like an issue here where like
Hmm.
um, follow the music, follow what they were saying with the lyrics, follow what the characters are doing on screen, and sometimes also pay attention to the dialogue. I feel like that's a lot to ask of your audience.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then especially in a movie like this, where I guess the genre would be rom-com musical, I
yeah.
guess. Where the idea is you're not, I mean, it's like when you do brain work, it's like okay, mystery, sometimes
Mm,
maybe like a
exactly.
sometimes maybe like a trippy sci-fi movie or whatever. It's
Mhm.
kind of different. Like you're expecting to be like, all right, this is gonna require me to focus. It's gonna require me to think of it.
Yeah.
But in a movie like this, um, you don't really want to think. And then I feel like the way the movie plays out, the more you think about it, the worse it gets. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, because like I mean, I know I keep going back to the character motivations thing, but Sara Ali Khan and the boss, um, it was again, it made me extremely uncomfortable, and they didn't shy away from showing visuals, and
hmm
I don't didn't love it. I didn't. If they were trying to build relatability with the character, I think they did that with one frame. Like everybody knows what, like most women at least I know what it's
hmm
like to be in a like that. Um, for me personally, I didn't have to watch it over and over again. And the fact that her like fiance came back and said, "Hey, like you need to apologize," I was like, "What the hell?"
yeah,
I that was just like, I mean, there's bad people, but people like that, I don't know. I was
hmm
very like, I was like really surprised to see that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I was not a fan of that. I thought her performance in this movie was better than I've seen her in most others. Um,
I haven't really seen her in much, so I can't really comment. But she was
I don't.
fine.
Yeah, I don't think you're missing out. I she was surrounded by really, really great performers here, so it was nice to see her like rise up to the occasion. Um, what did you think of the Nina Gupta storyline?
Um, I thought it was. I thought it was like well done, but then I feel like there was so much going on in this movie that when they introduced it, I was like, really another
Yeah,
storyline? Because there's Sara
yeah.
Ali Khan, and then there's the Ali Fazal, there is Om
Oh,
Shivati,
that's, yeah.
yeah, there's the daughter, and
Mhm.
then now there's like, do we need? I was like, do we need five of these?
Yeah, it was interesting. I did like how they were all somehow interconnected. I
hmm
thought it was interesting because so there's this thing called small world syndrome where like sometimes if all your characters know each other and all of them are somehow stemming from some certain relationship with each other, it starts to feel like the film doesn't feel like the world is real. It feels like
Right.
that's why it's called small world syndrome. I think that this movie clearly like navigated that without like actually having all of them be in frame very often. So
hmm
it didn't feel like um, like I didn't feel that. I didn't feel small world syndrome here.
Right.
Yeah. But
Um,
no, overall it was all right. it did run long, and I felt the length.
Yeah, I agree. It kills like it was over 2 hours. I don't think it needed to be.
Yeah. I was, yeah, I mean, I'm actually trying to think about like things that I liked about it, and I can't seem to draw all that much.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
beyond I think the technical stuff, there's not
mhm,
much that
yeah.
really impressed me.
There was an Imtiaz Ali cameo, there was an Anurag Basu cameo.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, nothing like really stood out to me, and it looks like I'm in the majority here because I did look up some general conversations about it, and very, very mixed reviews.
Yeah, even the positive ones are like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, it's if you got a knife to kill, it's
yeah,
entertaining.
yeah. That's always a great sign. Um, anyway,
Now it's time for our ratings. And as a reminder, or in case you're new here, the way we rate things is on the script coverage scale. There is pass when we think a movie is not so great, consider it when we think it's decent, and recommend when we think it's great. As a reminder, this is not a recommendation, it's just a score. With that said, here's now how do you score Metro in Dino.
I would say pass. I did love it. It didn't stick out to me. There's more movies that can take your 2.5 hours. What about you?
Yeah, I think like I considered giving it a weak consider just because I did like the editing and the cinematography, but ultimately it's just a movie that I don't care
Yeah,
about. And if I know this isn't a recommendation, but if someone were to actually ask me, "Hey, should I watch this movie?" I'd be like, "Nah." So
yeah,
it
yeah,
is a
exactly.
pass for me.
Yeah, I think it does come down to that, right? Like, would you watch it again? Like, I wouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah, probably
same
not.
thing.
Hmm.
All right.
All right. So clearly you did not like Metro in the No.
Mhm.
But is there a different movie that you would recommend, or what else have you been watching?
So I have been watching Bastards of Bollywood or Bads of Bollywood for the YouTube friendly cut, I guess. And I quite liked it. I binged the entire show in like
Nice.
2 days, I think. It's not that long. It's like an hour. It's like 40 minutes, I think, per episode, and there's only 7 episodes, so
Okay.
it's yeah. Um, I love shows and movies about the film world. Like I didn't like La La Land, but other than that, like I feel like in general, in general, when they make films about films, I quite like it. And this is that. This is extremely self-indulgent and it is hilarious and it is like great satire. Especially if you've been following, Bollywood and the general drama that's been happening over the past couple of years. Hopefully, we'll get to do an episode on this show. So I'm just going to keep my comments to this much. How about you?
Okay. Yeah. So I have, you know, so I actually, because you mentioned Bastards of Hollywood, and you say you like movies that are like about film, super indulgent and bombastic. I actually watched one of those recently. It's Babylon. Uh, by Damon Chazelle. I have seen so much about that movie on my timeline that recently I was like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I'm gonna watch it. Um, this
Mm-hmm.
movie is like, God, it's like 3.5 hours long. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and I still don't know how I feel about it because it is
Mm-hmm.
way out there. There's moments where I love it. There's moments where I'm like, I don't care. But it
Mm-hmm.
was definitely worth the watch in my opinion.
Uh,
But then also I wanted to also shout out a movie called Summertime. And the reason
okay.
why I want to shout that out is because it reminds me a little bit of uh, Metro in Dino in the sense that there's a lot of characters and there's a lot of stuff going on. Um, this is a movie with like 25 different writers on it, and it's kind of that's because the way it works is it's like the movie starts on a certain group of characters. It tells their story for 5 minutes, and those
Mm-hmm.
those characters are the actors and the writers. They all performed their own moments, and then it kind of shifts and focuses on somebody else, and it'll focus on somebody else, and maybe you'll get some of the characters coming back. But it's all very
Mm.
mundane stuff. It's not people cheating on each other. It's like this one guy trying to get a burger, but in LA, but everywhere he goes for a burger, it's being gentrified, and now they only have avocado toast. So that's his entire arc. There's a group of there's a rap duo that in in the course of one day they get discovered, become like worldwide phenomenons, and then get sick of their fame all in
Uh-huh.
a day. um, that's a
Yeah,
movie I would
sounds.
recommend.
I might actually go check this out because one is lately I've been feeling weirdly homesick for LA. Like I've been like Google Memories just throw shit on my feed, and I'm just
Oh
like
yeah.
I miss it so. Yeah, and then the second thing is what you just described sounds very like the energy of it sounds very familiar to the city. So I would love to check it out.
Oh yeah, it's great. And that is it for this week's episode of Pages Pixels. I'm Rohan. That's Kirtana, and we'll see you next week with a brand new movie. Thank you.
Thank you.